Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. We have very active lifestyles. It's not all wandering the countryside aimlessly or scaring passing motorists. And we all love a good cup of joe. And there's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. Bold, robust, delicious. It's coffee that can wake the dead. With over a dozen different roasts and flavors, Deadly Grounds can satisfy the most finicky of coffee addicts. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
And there we are. We are now live on the Wicked Horror Show and powered by the Dorkening Podcast Network. Awesome show for you scheduled today. We are talking with Jason Richard Miller. He has a new movie called Bloodhound, and we're going to be talking about that and his awesome career. And with us today, we have Kevin.
What's going on, everybody?
Tony.
What is going on, people?
And the man of the hour, Jason Richard Miller. Thank you for joining us.
How's it going?
Going well, well.
How are you doing, Leo? No one ever asks you.
Same old.
Meh. Why even ask? Yeah. Well, yeah. So, Bloodhound. We definitely want to get into Bloodhound quite a bit.
Thank you for joining us.
What?
How's it
Oh
going?
my, Tony.
What's going on, people? And the man of the
Is
hour.
that all us?
Not me.
Oh, weird. Anyways, all right. So the movie Bloodhound, we want to get into that, but going through your IMDb, you also have quite a long history in the industry, not just with directing, but you've done effects, you've done producing. Do you want to go into maybe like just your history, like in the industry, a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So I went to school in Boston for graphic design, and because I wanted to be a comic book artist. But then I took a film class, and I decided this is more fun. This is what I want to do. So I decided to move to California and pursue that. And when I moved to LA, I met Adam Green, who has Arioscope Pictures and directed Hatchet. And I was his assistant for, I think it was like a week. And then they needed someone to re-edit the movie because they had lost their EDL, which is like a file that you use to bring up your cut for the movie. And they were recoloring the movie because of a technical issue. And the only thing they had was the raw footage and a DVD copy of the movie. So they needed someone to match the cuts. And that's what I did. I had no idea what I was doing, but I did it. And then Adam was like, you actually improved the cut of the movie. So he let me do some additional cutting. And that turned into me doing post for all of their movies and producing. And then I was like, I want to direct eventually, but I want to kind of get my hands into everything.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I came up.
Crazy that you. So what was that? What was the movie that you had to do that with? Was that the first Hatchet?
That was the first Hatchet, yeah.
Wow.
So that first Hatchet came out. We shot on film, but it was around the time that digital intermediate coloring was like being introduced.
Mm-hmm.
So we scanned all the film and made it HD files, and then that would get colored. So we were kind of learning as the industry was learning too, how to do all that.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Little side story. My wife actually won tickets to the Hatchet premiere in Boston.
I was there.
From Newberry Comics.
Yeah.
And she didn't go because my band was playing at Ralph's Diner.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she made the wrong choice.
No, I think she loves
up.
you. I think she loves you.
Well, she wasn't my wife then, so I guess maybe you're right. Hopefully so.
I just want to break in here for a second. So the movie Bloodhound is actually, I believe it's being released today, and we have a link in the show notes down below or up above, depending on where you're watching or listening to us. And we do have a trailer. Would you like to introduce the trailer, Jason?
This is a trailer for Bloodhound, and I hope you like it.
There we go.
I'm a private investigator.
Why are you recording me?
I record all my cases in case of illegal ramifications such as this if you keep acting aggressive.
I need to find Maria, my ex-wife. So I'm not hiring you because I want her back. I'm just afraid she's gone too far with this revenge thing and it's gotten into something bad.
What the hell is this? Turn the camera off.
Why?
Because I need to do something we can't have evidence of. This is Abel Walker for case number 025. My associate Jim and I had an encounter with the men whom I believe have Maria Augustine. These men are dangerous.
We go in there fast and silent, like a SWAT team.
I mean, that doesn't make sense. He's the one who hired us, you know? But I don't think he's telling us all the truth. We're gonna have to do this alone. Drop the knife. It's over. I would do anything for Maria.
Are you sure we're not pushing it here?
There's no rules when it comes to this kind of thing.
Let's watch that back.
Okay, there we go. That's the movie Bloodhound out now, and I got an iTunes link down below or up above. And I believe, according to October Coast, it's also out on DVD for those people that love physical media.
You got to find it. Go find it somewhere.
Please.
Where it is? Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe in a store, maybe in a Walmart. I don't know. But But yeah, so obviously, I mean, working with Adam, you've done some horror, and the movie that you were pointing out, Tony, that you have that he did effects on, was that a horror movie? Or is that like a sci-fi movie?
It's a little bit of both. It's put out by that Dread Central and their
Okay.
Dread Central Presents line. So it has a little bit. It's I'd say more horror because it just has a robot and stuff. So
Yeah.
It's got
So
a killer robot. That makes
yep.
it horror.
all robots are killer, in my opinion.
I think
Right?
so, yeah, for sure.
Ooh, I'm sorry, I'm Harlan. So I mean, you've done horror, you've done some other sci-fi-ish stuff. This movie is not a horror movie. It's got some suspense to it and stuff like that. So, I'm assuming you're a fan of just film in general. Where's your passion? Like, do you have like a specific genre that you write in? I mean, so this isn't your first movie that you've directed, but you're still fairly new to directing, right?
Correct. Yeah, this is my second feature. My first feature was like a sci-fi comedy. I think I fit more into the sci-fi realm, but like you said, I'm a fan of everything, so I want to try everything. I want to make comedies, I want to make horror movies, I want to make sci-fi movies, I want to make everything. And this was my attempt at a thriller, and it was fun to make.
Looks like, and there's actually like, I mean, I'm hoping that this was the intentions, and if not, don't be upset with me. But there's actually some parts that I felt were a little humorous as well in the movie.
Yeah, it's hard for me to deviate from comedy because just that's kind of how I learned to write. And I find that like comedy kind of, if you're in doubt story wise, kind of comedy kind of brings it back together. And especially when there's tension, I think comedy is good to bring reality to it because that's what people would do in real life.
Right. Yeah. So the main I guess private investigator in the movie, like he's kind of bumbling from time to time, and I was just like, oh, this guy who's never done it is correcting him. This is great. But
yes.
yeah. So getting into Bloodhound a little bit. Was this a story that you've had for a long time, or is this something that you've been trying to make?
So I had the character for a while. I came up with the character of Abel Walker, and I knew I wanted this like kind of eccentric, weird guy that you don't know if you should believe him or not because he's very confident in himself, but he doesn't seem like he should be. And then I came up with the private detective angle, and I thought that would be perfect for that character. And so I wrote Bloodhound really quick, actually. So my first feature, Unidentified, came out in 2014, I believe. And it was during the press for that I wrote Bloodhound. And I was like, I want to make this right away next. And Unidentified was a found footage film. And Bloodhound is more documentary, but it's, in that vein still too. But I felt like the story was right for that. Like it should be a documentary style film.
Yeah. Tony?
And then it's also like the tension in there is like ripe for. I had never seen a found footage movie that was a thriller as well. So I felt that it was if I hadn't seen it, I want to see it. So why not make it?
So you said you wrote the script rather quickly. How fast is rather quickly for you?
like 2 weeks, I would say. 2 weeks. And so once I had the idea, the way that I was writing at that time is I used to drive around in the middle of the night in my car and just dictate into my phone. And because I knew I wanted to film it all in downtown LA at night, I would from 2 to 5 in the morning, I would drive around downtown LA in kind of some weird seedy areas, and just to see what it was like to be out at that time of night. And there's a lot of crazy stuff that happens in downtown LA at night. And a lot of that's in the movie too.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. So my initial idea for the opening of the movie was to shoot it all in one take, not cutting, as a guy is driving through LA looking for a hooker. That was like the opening scene of the movie. And we started shooting it that way. We shot, I had it all planned out. We had producers like stashed in a certain part of town and actors somewhere. And then my camera car would follow the actor's car, and we did it all live. And when I got into the edit, I was like, there's a lot of dead air here. It's like, it's just driving for too long. So it's one of those things where you realize, it doesn't work. In my head, it worked. In the script, it worked. But
yeah, I mean, it's definitely a cool idea. But yeah, you would have to figure out something in between. It's like, all right, well, I'm sitting in traffic now. Like,
yeah, exactly.
For a good movie, real time poker pickups. I don't know.
But doing it that way and then realizing I needed to change it up gave me the idea to add like a montage of scenes that kind of set up who the Ava Walker character is, and why he's filming himself and why he's doing this.
And I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say it's a very unique concept that we haven't really seen before. At least I haven't.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
And I like the whole the other party that it even makes for more reason to be filming. Like obviously he's filming himself, but he's like, all right, I need to get someone else to do this, and it's explained, so it's not just like it makes sense that it's found footage kind of deal, like that.
He had some dangerous encounters. Yeah. And then there's another story element that takes place that I don't want to spoil it for the audience, but at a certain point you realize that other things are happening with the found footage.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So yeah, there's for even though it's not really like there is horror elements to it. It's not necessarily a strict horror movie, but there's gore in it. There's some brutality in it here and there. So it's definitely something that even I'm a fan of most genres as well. There's some people out there that are like strict, just gore. They would just want horror and it's calm down. Watch a movie with a story. Watch a movie with a plot. And it happens to have a little bit of stuff in there too. But I enjoyed it. Tony, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, as I was watching it, there was a few movies that came to mind as I was watching it. So I don't know, if there was any movies that you drew inspiration from, but certain scenes, I was just like, that kind of reminds me of a certain thing. But I'm more of a horror fan, but I grew up with, these, crime dramas as well. But you throwing in like the little comedy, because it's not the same kind of deal, but I was thinking of like Dick Tracy back in the day. Because at that point in time, I'm like, because it's supposed to, it has its comedy aspects and all this, not even close to, the same movie, but that Kevin mentioning that the little, the bumbleness of the, the private eye and all this stuff, it was just like, it kind of reminded me of that. But yeah, with this genre, it takes something different to actually have me watch it, because nowadays so many movies kind of just run into each other. It's got the same plot line. It's just like bad guy, find the bad guy kind of deal. But this one, had that a different element to it that it kept me watching. And then, like you said, it kind of hits another gear towards, I don't want to say anything, but the second half kind of brings a new gear into it. And I'm just like, now I just definitely got to finish watching to see what does happen. So.
Yeah. I wanted to, so because it's a private detective, I kind of wanted to bring in that noir feeling, and I think that's where that Dick Tracy feel comes in, because there's a kind of like over the topness to private detectives back in the day, and that's kind of who Abel Walker is. He's too sure of himself. Like why is he so sure of himself? I don't know. But a big influence was the movie 8mm. I really like. That movie just sticks with you. It's like creepy, and you feel dirty after you're done watching it. And I wanted to kind of have that. I wanted Bloodhound to make you feel like, it's a little dirty after you're done.
Yeah. What was that there was another one too, where there was like a guy who was like almost like a ambulance chaser kind of thing. And he was
Nightcrawler.
Yeah. At first it was like, oh, is he going for a Nightcrawler feel? It's, but it's not like, but at first, because even some of the visuals and stuff too, like that's one thing I did notice. Like there was a lot. I don't know if there were drone shots or anything like that, but It seemed like it, and they were just done really well. Like there's one that's like
Thanks.
following the street, and I'm just like, how do they keep this so straight? Like I'm sure there's some editing magic in there, but it was just like I don't understand how it's like so perfect. But
Yeah, I mean, drones are, you can buy a pretty cheap drone now and it looks really good. But I had my friend Andy Olek, he's a drone operator and he got all those shots for me. I was like, I need downtown LA shots. Can you get them for me? And he gave me like the perfect shots for what I needed. But yeah, so Nightcrawler was definitely an influence more on the technical side because I liked the look of Nightcrawler. It kind of, you're seeing LA in a different light, and that's kind of what I wanted to do. So technically, yeah, we drew inspiration from Nightcrawler for sure.
Nice.
Just keeping up on the comments here. Angel from That Strange Show says, awesome, 8mm is legit. He also says, hashtag real-time hooker pickups. Sergio wants to say hi to Jason. Angel says, looks intense. William says, killer trailer. And Angel says, give that man a job. And William is greetings from OG Nation. And I think I got everybody. So if you have comments or questions for Jason in the chat room, just post them and I'll get to them as best as I can.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, besides Bloodhound, and I'm sorry to keep going back to your past, one of the things that I'm a giant fan of that you were involved in is the Jack Chop commercial.
That's right.
I was saying that every Halloween, that's one that I tend to share with somebody, whether it be through Facebook or email or whatever. So yeah, like is it? I mean, is it only this part of the country you think that really gets it, or do you see this around the country?
Well, it's funny. So when I moved to LA from Boston, I started meeting all these new people, and I realized they're all from Boston.
Yeah,
so all my friends.
You moved to LA, and then you start working with Adam Green, who's from Holliston, and
exactly. I didn't know him when I lived in Boston. I met him out here. So pretty much all my friend group that makes horror movies, and reviews horror movies, I met out here, and they're from Boston. So it's crazy how that works. But yeah, Jack Chop kind of went viral before we understood what that meant, really. And it's crazy. People would send me the link. They're like, check out Jack Chop. And I'm like, I made that. Like, I know what it is. I'm in it. There's a cameo for me. I'm the trash picker from Lynn. Me and Adam were the cameos in the end.
I don't even know if I didn't even realize that it was Adam.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back and watch it again. I'm assuming that everyone watching has or listening has seen this. And if you're not from New England, you need to just do a search for Jack Chop, Ariscope, Halloween. Like he was doing that every year for a while. He was doing like a short, right?
Yeah. So during my tenure that I worked with him, we would do a feature and then we would try to do a Halloween short every year. So we did quite a few. But Jack Chop was the most fun. I mean, that was so fun to make, and I think that's why everyone likes it because like when you're personally attached to the project and you the love that you have is like seen on display. I think people connect to that more.
Yeah, it's just a really thick Boston accent with a really bad infomercial with gore.
Yeah,
Tony, you've seen it, right?
I have. Yes.
Okay, good. Leo, have you seen it?
I have.
All right, good. I can't believe Leo's seen it. This is crazy.
You sent it to me.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. It's a good time. But yeah, that's great. So, this is your second feature. I'm assuming you're going to continue with the directing. Are you still going to be working the other side of the industry as well?
Yeah. So actually, right now I'm working on a Nicolas Cage movie called Jiu-Jitsu, where I'm the lead VFX artist. So, yeah. So I'm doing lots of cool Alien and Nick Cage fight scenes. It's a lot of fun. I can't wait for everyone to see it because it's a crazy movie. But it's like super fun. So other than that, I'm actually in post on my third feature film too, which is a sci-fi, and that stars Perry Shen from the Hatchet movies and Bria Grant, who was in Beyond the Gates, and she was on Heroes and Dexter. She's also my writing partner.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. You were a big Dexter fan, Leo.
Oh yeah, yeah. Dexter, such an awesome show, except for the last season.
Don't tell her he said that.
Well, I mean,
No.
the last season was good. It was more like the finale is, it's just I thought it was gonna.
It wasn't like the Game of Thrones.
Nothing's
season.
nothing's as bad as the Game of Thrones. I mean,
Water
just-
bottles, Starbucks cups. Anyways,
Yeah.
well, yeah, that's pretty awesome. Like it must be an experience. So, are you working? Have you worked with Nicolas Cage?
I have not met him yet. I'm only on the post side. I almost showed up to ADR when he did it last week, but I had too much work to do.
Yeah, just like I think I might want to make an appearance. And I mean, I've heard good things. I've heard like that he's actually a really nice guy. Actually, a couple people we know from like YouTube were just at some. He was at something recently. I saw some pictures recently.
They had a screening of his new movie, which I can't remember the name of it.
The Color of Something.
Yes, The Color of Something.
Yeah, I forget what it is.
Interesting name.
Yeah. So he did ADR, and then the next day he was at that screening for that because he doesn't live in LA, so he comes when he's working. But actually, the director of Jiu-Jitsu was on the phone with him today, and after he told me, he's like, Nick Cage is the nicest actor I've ever worked with, hands down.
Wow.
So I guess it's true. It's all true.
It's good to hear.
Plus, he's been in like everywhere you turn. He's in something between Mandy. That one was like an underground hit.
Oh my god,
Mom and Dad. And
I was so happy for Mandy though. Like it's because Nicolas Cage has done some really like earlier in his career, he did some awesome stuff, and then he made some stuff that was good, but some stuff that really wasn't good, and he was a little loopy from time to time. But I'm glad that like Mandy was ridiculous. Like it was so good. It was just so different. I think he was perfect for that movie. So I'm psyched for him because it's like, all right, now some other people being like, instead of him being like the brunt of a joke, now he's the man,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, at that Wicker Man, that one scene with the bees.
Whatever.
He's a great actor.
Yeah, he is.
So since you enjoy sci-fi, and now you're delving into crime drama and stuff, you think of like a mashup of like Private Eye investigating some aliens or something along those lines, or down the.
Hold on, let me write that down.
Yeah.
I just want to say I'm sold on Jiu-Jitsu. Tony Jaa's in it as well.
Tony Jaa, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. I thought you said Tony Todd at first. I'm like, what? Tony Todd?
There's some incredible fight scenes in this movie. It's pretty crazy.
Nice.
I mean, Nick Cage is doing backflips, so.
What? And is it really him doing it?
I don't know.
Yes, it's him.
Of course
He's
not.
really doing it.
Just like I don't know, but I did have to make a Nicolas Cage full
I
body.
might have had to paste his face onto another person.
If that's the case, can I buy a Nicolas Cage face off you?
We'll talk after.
I'm gonna show up to work with a Nicolas Cage face on.
Little story with that. My buddy is a Nicolas Cage fan, and they got one of those pillows.
Oh yeah.
That you flip it, and then one it's his normal face, and then you flip it, and it's all like
It's crazy.
his crazy face.
Yeah.
It's actually one of the funnier
It
pillows.
was the first time, one of my last jobs that absolutely could not stand that meme of him, where he's just like, eyes bugged out.
Oh yeah.
So when she went on a vacation, we printed out a ton of them and hid them all over her desk. And she loves Justin Timberlake, and she had this big Justin Timberlake book on her desk, and we just put it between like a bunch of pages and everything. It was good. We were finding him for a while. It was a good time.
That's great.
Yeah.
So with casting of Bloodhound, did you know all the actors that were in it, or was it a open, whatever you want to call it, casting?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Bloodhound's a small movie, and because I wanted to make it really quick, I pulled from the people that I know. So Ed Ackerman, who's Abel Walker, he was in Frozen, that I produced, and he's in Hatchet 2. And the funny story with Ed is on Frozen, there was a technical issue with his scene because he's in a couple scenes, and his main scene had to be refilmed, and Adam Green didn't have time to do it, so I ended up refilming his scenes because I was directing second unit. And then so we became friends on that. And then in Hatchet 2, I was directing second unit again, and for scheduling reasons, his whole death scene I had to direct as well. So Ed has barely worked with Adam. I'm more of Ed's director than Adam is. And so when I was writing Bloodhound, I was like, Ed can pull this off, and he would be a great leading man if given the opportunity. So I was like, let's do that. And then Dave Foy is like one of my closest friends. I've known him since I moved out here. Adam Green introduced me to him, and he was also in Hatchet 2, and he's just a great guy, and loves to act. And I thought those two guys together would be great. And I did a little test to see how well they would work together. I made a short film called Probed, and it's on YouTube. You can find it. It's about two like hillbillies that get abducted by aliens, and one of them keeps getting anally probed, and the other one keeps getting like treated like a king, and it's just like a funny little scene. But they had great chemistry, so I thought they would be great together. And then
something where like one of them's upset, like, why do I keep getting probed? And the other one,
exactly.
The other one's like, why am I getting probed? Like,
yeah. So in between their experiments, they hang out with each other, and Ed is the one that keeps getting anal probed, and he's like, are they doing a lot of butt stuff to you? And and Dave's like, no.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, check that out. But so I knew they were going to be the leads, and then Sylvia Moore plays Maria, who's the woman that they're looking for, and she has a small role, but it's like, as you guys saw, it's pretty impactful and important. And she was in Chillerama. She was in Adam Green's
the diary
short. Yeah. And so I produced that, and when I was working with her on that, I just saw how like she's just an amazing actress, and I was like, I need to work with her at some point. And so I kind of approached her with the idea for this and how it's like a big risk for her because she has to be very vulnerable, and she was into it. So I'm glad I got to work with her as well.
Yeah, I was looking through her IMDb because I'm like, her face is familiar. I don't know why. And then I mean, I don't even know. Like, I don't know if it's Chillerama or if it was. I know she was in Lords of Salem as well as one of the witches. I don't know if she had a mask on during that because I know some of them had masks on.
She had a mask on for that one. Yeah,
I was just trying to remember where I recognized her from, but maybe it was Chillerama. I don't know.
Probably, yeah.
Probably. Yeah, that's my favorite segment for sure. In Chillerama is, I think it's fantastic, and Kane is ridiculous. Like the whole thing is great. It's awesome.
Yeah,
it's really cool to be involved in that.
That was really fun to shoot, and you could tell everyone was so like happy with how it was turning out that we actually were done shooting a day early. Like everyone just kept shooting for 4 days, and we had 5 or 6 days, and we were done. That one turned out great.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Just real quick, Yo-Yo was actually supposed to be on tonight. He's the one that mixed the train. I forgot what he was referencing. Not a bad movie to make take inspiration from, but he actually just questioned me. He's asking, are you using a mic from your earpods? Because if so, they sound pretty good, all things considered.
Yes, these are the new AirPod Pros, and I encourage all to get some. These are my AirPods.
Nice. I'm not a Mac man myself, so I will not. And aren't they like $200 or something like that?
Yeah, I actually bought these for my wife, but she doesn't use them, so I took them.
Oh. I bought totally not on the subject of movies, but with some help from a friend, I bought some bone conduction headphones so I can wear them at the office at work because they just sit in front of your ear and they just vibrate your head.
Oh,
so
that's interesting.
It's weird. So you can still hear people talking, like you can still like have a conversation with someone and have a podcast playing, and they can't hear what you're hearing, but I can have like last podcast on the left blaring like full volume.
That's pretty good.
Telling people that we're going to take their house away, and I work in collections. I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm one of those guys. But But yeah, so I mean, good ear. But yeah, I agree though. It does sound good. I thought
Yeah.
it was another mic you were speaking close to.
Yeah,
Good job.
and I just wanted to break in just real quick, just to keep up on the comments. Angel also agrees. Damn, y'all naming some awesome movies to draw influence from. And he says Mandy is delicious. Mom and Dad crazy. Angel says The Rock Con Air. Angela Bergeron's in the chat room as well. And let's see. Yes, he can do it all. Talking about Nicolas Cage. And Justin Cooper says, like the kids in the hall, ready the anal probe.
Oh. I can't argue a Kids in the Hall reference. I can have a whole separate podcast just about Kids in the Hall. But I'm not going to, because that's ridiculous. But anyway.
That's tomorrow.
Yeah. Yep. It's one of my billion podcasts that I do. So besides the you said your third feature is in post now, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you have other stuff in the works? Like, what do you have planned besides Nicolas Cage?
So that's the main one in the works is, well, Jiu-Jitsu I'm finishing up. We're on the last couple weeks, just kind of polishing all the VFX. And then I believe that comes out in March. Don't quote me on that. But then after that, hopefully I'll work with that director on his next feature, and hopefully Nick Cage is in that too. But in between that, I'll be finishing my feature, which I don't have a title for right now because I'm the worst at titles. Bloodhound was the only movie that I've made, or a short or a script that I've written, that I knew the title right away. I was like, I want it to be called Bloodhound. It makes sense. It works. It's simple. It's easy.
Were you listening to Bloodhound Gang at the time?
Always. No.
That's what's in the other ear pod. It's Bloodhound.
But my first feature, Unidentified, it took me forever to come up with that name. And it's a simple name. I don't know why. Actually, I don't even think I came up with it. I think Perry Shen came up with it, who's my producing partner, and he's in it. So he came up with that. And then this new one, I'm waiting for someone to give me the title for it. We'll see.
Can you is this the one that's in space? Like, it's a sci-fi?
It's not in space. It's a sci-fi. It's about a husband and wife who invent a time machine, and she wants to try it out on herself. So she sends herself into the future, and she makes a mistake, and it creates a duplicate of herself every day, and they have to murder all the duplicates.
Oh,
and that's that movie.
Wow.
So it's kind of a
come up with
dark,
a title. I'll just
dark
send
comedy.
your way. No, just kidding. I'm horrible with names too.
Comment section. Give me some titles, please.
You said it's a dark comedy. We can call it Who Dat Bitch. We can call it that. I don't know. I'm gonna stop.
Well, so along with directing, you do a lot of visual effects work. For somebody looking to get into the film business, where would you recommend they start? And what type of programs are you using on a day-to-day basis?
That's a tough question. I think, visual effects is a great way to start because it's something that there's YouTube tutorials on. If you're computer inclined, you can figure things out pretty quick, and then it's just a matter of being artistic. I use Adobe After Effects, and I also use Cinema 4D. And like for Jiu-Jitsu, I'm making all these crazy 3D portals, and it's a lot of rendering, but it's fun to build stuff in 3D. But it's taken me about 15 years of practice to be where I'm at. So
nice.
Is it one of those things where you go back and look at your earlier stuff and you're like, oh, I don't even want to see this?
Yeah. Well, sometimes I go back to like last year, and I'm like, oh no, because a lot of work is just time based. I only had a week to do this, so it is what it is.
Yeah, and it really is. I mean, it can make and break a movie completely. Not to put pressure on you, but Nicolas Cage is on the line here. No, but there's one YouTube show that I watch where it's 3 VFX artists. They sit on the couch and they like critique stuff.
Oh, I love that show. Yeah, VFX React.
All right, yeah. It's great. Whenever a new one pops up my feed, I'm like, yep. and and then they'll fix it, which I think is really cool too. They'll find something that's really bad and they'll fix it. Like, and then they'll make like Home Alone R-rated and all. It's a good show. Go find it. Stop watching this show and go.
No, keep watching this show. Wait for VFX Drag.
The next 20 minutes.
Angel actually says he's teaching himself currently. It's a long process.
It is, and it takes a lot of, playing around to get things right. So you have to be a good problem solver.
Yeah, and you mentioned rendering. It's a little painful when you create something and you go to render. Well, when I did stuff, it was like a decade ago. So it'd be like 2 days to render, and I'm like, holy shit.
And you're like, oh, I forgot to do that one thing.
Yeah.
Now that this gun is completely hairy for some reason. Weird.
Well, I used to do all my VFX on my laptop, and I don't recommend that. It's very slow. So I've since built a PC that has, a lot of power.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is it's all not easily, but a lot of like with a PC, a lot of it's upgradable, so you can get as much as you can out of it, and then
all of it's upgradable,
and to a certain extent.
Well, you can always scrap parts and build another machine.
Exactly. That's just starting over.
Yeah. AMD or Intel?
It's AMD.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Went with
I'm looking to build my next one because I need to render faster. So I'm gonna go to Threadripper.
I was just about to say that Threadripper.
With multiple GPUs.
Yeah.
What? You're getting real excited.
I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos. I call it computer porn because it's just building these crazy computers.
Well, their next one is what, a 64 core?
Yeah, that's the one on my end right now. We'll see.
Yeah.
He was like thrilled. Look at him. Look at his face. I guarantee you he's touching himself below that desk.
Hey, it's geeky stuff.
He's not denying it. You notice he didn't.
Yeah, no comment. No comment.
Like, hey, I love it. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, man. That's what gets me there. That's cool. I mean, it's cool too because it's you started off in one thing, and just moving to California and meeting the right people has like completely like changed your course.
Yeah, a lot of working in film and in Hollywood is, unfortunately, it's who you know. It's not your kind of, if you're really skilled, you might not have the same breaks as someone who, just knows the right people, unfortunately. So I was lucky to have, when I came out here, I had already known Will Barrett, who is Adam Green's DP. And I used to hire Will to direct commercials for the company I worked with in Boston. And so when I would hire him, he was telling me about Hatchet before I knew what it was. He was like, I'm going to film a movie in LA. I was like, oh, that's awesome. Can you teach me how to do this? And so I would do all the work and he would get all the credit for all the commercials that we did.
Oh, nice.
So go ahead.
I was going to say, did you always know you were going to climb the ladder? Like, did you know that you wanted to direct eventually, or was it,
Yeah, my ultimate goal was always to direct. That was, as soon as I took that film class, I was like, I want to be a director for sure. But you have to start somewhere. You have to learn how to do it. So I think what makes a really good director is someone who understands what everyone else on set is doing. Even if it's just a little bit. If you understand how this person kind of does their job and this person kind of does their job, then you're on your way to being a good director.
Well, I'm not on my way to be a good director, unfortunately. Oh well. No, it's actually when I was a little kid in elementary school, they it was an assignment to like draw what you wanted to be when you grew up, and I drew a guy with a camera, but it was like a crank camera, that's all I know. I was a kid. And the way that I drew it, it looked like my parents got called to school because it looked like it was just a guy flipping you off. I'm like, no, it's the crank for the camera. And they're like, okay, all right. But my parents had to come all the way to my school because they weren't going to ask me because I was like a little kid. Like, oh yeah, F you. That's why. But I had thought about doing that when I was younger, and then I just completely stopped thinking about it forever and ever and ever. And then like Now I'm obsessed with movies, and I'm like, shit. Now I'm in my mid-40s. Hooray!
Hey, you can. There's always time. Just make a short film. You got to.
Right.
The only way to get into it is to do it.
Yeah.
We've actually talked about doing a short film a long time ago, but we haven't done it because we're lazy.
You should just do it.
Oh, we're
You're right.
I don't
Really,
say
let's do it.
lazy. We're busy, because we're holding full-time jobs and then doing this at night, and doing the best we can.
You know what all the best directors have? Excuses. I'm just kidding. I'm right alongside with you though. I'm nothing but excuses. So yeah, I'll do that, and I'll give you a thanks in the credits when it happens.
Yeah, can't wait. Send it to me.
You're gonna have to, because it's probably
no.
not.
Do it tonight.
All right. I gotta go out and make a short film. Everyone come to my house, please. All right, cool. So anyways, so in making this movie, like I don't know how much you want to talk about, but you were saying how some of the you didn't know when the release was going to happen and stuff like that. Do you even want to talk about that? Maybe
I guess
not?
we will now.
I'm sorry.
No, I had made it last year. Like last year was when I thought it was going to come out, and then I was waiting for the sales to happen, and it's a long process. So, and the reason why I wasn't sure it was what was happening was because my first movie, Unidentified, had a distributor and a release date before I finished filming it. So basically I shot for 3 days on that film. Then I called up Dark Sky, who I had been working with on the Hatchet movies, and I said, I have a film, do you want to buy it? And I showed them a trailer for it, and they said yes. And I was like, oh, okay, that was easy. And then so I thought that was how this one would be. Turns out it's difficult to sell a movie. I had no idea. So it took a little while, but we're here and it's available, and now it's up to everyone out there to watch it legally.
Right. Yeah, legally.
Yep. Exactly.
Go buy it. Go buy the digital copy. Find it in a store. And tell me where it is, and then I can go buy a physical copy. If you like to have physical copies of things, I don't know if you've realized. What?
Oh, is that what's behind you? I thought those were just
it's pornography.
empty boxes.
Nope, pornography.
Okay.
What are you saying, Leo?
Well, no, I was going to say that's a perfect segue into playing the trailer for the people that are watching now that may have missed it earlier. And so we are talking about the. Actually, I hit the wrong button here. We are talking about the movie Bloodhound, which is out on VOD and physical media today. And if you check the show notes in the down below or up above, depending on where you're watching, I can't speak tonight.
Watching or listening, because
yeah,
Look
exactly.
at the notes on the podcast things as well.
Yeah, there's an iTunes link right there. I believe it's available on Amazon as well. So just check out Bloodhound. But here's the trailer.
My name's Abel Walker. I'm a private investigator.
Why are you recording me?
I record all my cases in case of illegal ramifications such as this if you keep acting aggressive.
I need to find Maria, my ex-wife. So I'm not hiring you because I want her back. I'm just afraid she's gone too far with this revenge thing and it's gotten into something bad.
What the hell is this? Turn the camera off.
Why?
Because I need to do something we can't have evidence of.
This is Abel Walker for case number 025. My associate Jim and I had an encounter with the men whom I believe have Maria Augustine. These men are dangerous.
We go in there fast and silent, like a SWAT team.
I mean, that doesn't make sense. He's the one who hired us, you know? But I don't think he's telling us all the truth. We're gonna have to do this alone.
Drop the knife. It's over.
I would do anything for Maria.
You sure we're not pushing it here?
There's no rules when it comes to this kind of thing.
Let's watch that back.
Monster Mania, Chilla.
Yeah. YC3 this weekend will be
Oh, that's right. You're going to be there.
Yeah, me, Philip from Dark Discussions.
You're making it worse.
I was bringing up porno back there, and I got you all flustered.
Philip from Dark Discussion Podcast, and also Alex Hoy is going to be there as well. Hopefully, he's going to be selling his wares, and
hopefully he's selling his wares. I'm assuming I'm demanding that he's there.
Yeah. I got him a booth, so he should be there. But YC3,
I hope so.
Yeah,
got him a booth. If not, I got 2 booths.
Yep.
It'll just be empty.
Yeah. YC3 up in Wells, Maine will be there. And then after that, it's going to be Wicked Weekend in February. And also we're going to be at, I'm trying to get press passes for CT GamerCon. I got a message from Mitch on that. So a lot of stuff coming
you guys,
up.
a couple things you're looking into.
Yeah. Still waiting to hear back from Kineticon, but we also heard back from Retro World Expo in September.
Nice.
Yeah, and there's another one in October. Denny Gager's Con. I don't know if we want.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is we usually don't because it's usually the same right around Rock and Shock.
Yeah, and it's also far away. It's middle of New York.
We've never done it. They've asked us. We've never done it.
Yeah.
And we always pick Rock and Shock because it's close and it's Rock and Shock.
Yeah.
So, we'll discuss.
We will.
Yeah, because that's where we started. We started on their radio network. So, right?
We did.
Yeah.
Jason, did you ever go to Rock and Shock? I know we talked about it earlier.
No, I never got to go. No. After I learned about it was when I was already on the West Coast. And
I think it started in like 2004, so it was going on for a while. That was like the first like horror con I've ever gone to, and it was it was cool. I mean, it's a lot of people like horror celebrities and fans. Like people would come from all over the place to go to this con. It's crazy.
Yeah,
and it's in Worcester of all places. It's not like a big one in New York or anything. It's like our friends. Trick or Treat Radio, they had a guy who came in from was it Australia or something this past year? It's like, wow, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, I mean, do you go to cons at all? Like, do you ever check them out?
I've gone to when there's a movie that I'm working on and it's in and there's a con going on for it. Like, I've gone to, now I'm really showing that I haven't gone to many, but I've gone to Monster or something.
Monsterpalooza?
Maybe in Burbank, California.
There's one that I see like videos of all the time where there's a lot of like makeup effects stuff. Like
that's the one.
That one looks sick. That one looks awesome. I really want to I saw there was one year they had like a photorealistic like Ren and Stimpy. And I'm like, they were disgusting. I'm like, this is fantastic. I wanted to be there so bad.
That was a cool time when I went to that. I went to that twice, I think. And I think it was around Hatchet 2 time. And they would do like live makeup effects demos and it was super fun. Yeah.
Monsterpalooza is it came up when I searched Burbank, says Pasadena. Is that close?
Yes. Yeah, that makes sense.
And this year it's going to be May 8th through the 10th.
Well,
that sounds about right.
If I ever go out to California, I want to plan it around like that show and maybe some other stuff just so I can go.
That's definitely a fun one.
Maybe I'll do it for my 50th birthday.
Which is tomorrow. Happy birthday, Emin.
Oh, which is tomorrow.
Oh, Anthony Michael Hall's going to be there.
Okay.
But now you have to go.
Yeah. No, you've already met him.
He doesn't like me.
You blame him though? I mean, look at him.
Well,
if you look at Leo, the only thing I can think of, you know who doesn't like this guy? Anthony Michael Hall in the wrestling tag team Demolition. They do not like this man.
No. Nope.
Was it because what was it? You called someone else out?
No,
James Balsamo.
Yeah, we were trying to find James Balsamo. Yeah. And
like Anthony Michael Hall's there, and he's got a camera and everything, and he's just like James Balsamo, and like just completely ignored. Oh, Leo.
Yeah,
I'm sure he did not like that.
Yeah, he ended up giving us a good interview though, but it was he was not too happy.
Yeah, whatever. He should get used to it. He's got way more money than both of us. Hopefully. But anyway, yeah. So we're wrapping things up in the next minute. So So yeah, go check out Bloodhound. And what else do you have a website with your other work or?
Yeah, my VFX work is done through my website, which is a bit of a Star Wars ripoff, boskproductions.com, BOSSK productions.com. And that has like all my VFX stuff and all the movies that I've done VFX on.
Nice. So we can go there in a couple months and see some Nicolas Cage.
Perhaps.
Nice.
Perhaps you will.
When did you say that's coming out? In May?
I believe it's coming out in March.
Oh, March.
Yeah.
And that's pretty soon. So I recently heard that a lot of times when you see a trailer, like the stuff that's in it, that's the only thing that's been done for VFX. Like when you see a trailer.
Yeah, a lot of times we're in post-production and the trailers comes out and we have to work on specific shots just for the trailer. Wow. And a lot of times those don't even end up in the movie because they're, test shots kind of.
So that explains some things. Because a lot of times I see a trailer, I'm like, God, it wasn't even in the movie. I'm like,
yeah.
Or with Star Wars, they throw in a toy of a TIE fighter just to mess with you.
Yeah. Well, if you remember the Rogue One trailer, it's very different from the movie.
Yep. Yeah, that's what.
But they they reshot a lot of it. So.
Yeah,
it's interesting to me. I had just assumed that the movie was like pretty much done when I see a trailer because I remember like with the whole Sonic the Hedgehog thing, they were like, release a trailer and they're just like, this is horrible, and then they're gonna have to redo the whole movie. But I'm like, but I think it was that YouTube show where they pointed out like, well, they actually probably only did the effects for the trailer.
Yeah. Well, they probably had a rough for that specific movie because it's all CG. They probably have like a first pass of it, and then they go in and just detail the trailer shots to make it,
ridiculous.
Look the way that it looked.
Well, it looks better now, at least. I mean, I'm still not gonna see it.
I want to see it for Jim Carrey.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I think it was a marketing ploy because nobody could have approved Sonic looking that bad.
I've heard that theory too.
Yeah.
Smart.
Test audience.
America is the test audience.
Yes.
Worked out. Hopefully. I mean, the movie's still going to be garbage, but whatever.
You never know. Could be good.
Yeah.
I always say everyone that works on a movie is working their best to finish the movie.
Oh, totally.
It's not their fault if it looks bad or it comes out bad. They work their hardest.
Like that's the thing we've said on the show a billion times. No matter how bad a movie is, it's still better than any movie I've ever made because I've never made a movie. You've already like you've already like outdone me quite a bit. Just like when someone like speaks very broken English and they're apologizing, I'm like, I only speak English and barely at that. Like you put me up. I'm not going to belittle you for not being able to say the word correctly. It's not your first language. You're better than me.
This is true.
I'm garbage. Sorry. Anyways, you were just like agreeing with me. You are garbage. He's not denying it. See? He's under that desk. Just kidding.
Yep. Well, we are coming up at the 10 o'clock hour, and anything else we need to discuss? Go over.
I think you need to go see Bloodhound.
Yeah.
Yes. Support indie film.
Exactly.
Yes. 100%. And go watch Unidentified on Amazon Prime streaming for free if you have Prime.
This is true.
Then go buy everything else. You have to track down the animated episode of Holliston because he does a voice in that. Go watch Jack Chop.
Go watch Chillerama.
Yeah, Chillerama. Everything.
Yeah.
But you're not in Chillerama. Like
I do have a cameo in Chillerama. I play a priest.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And it's a pretty crazy cameo in the film Defecation. So.
Oh, okay, I'm just trying to, but it's in that short though. It's not.
It's the last movie that they're watching at the drive-in. So it starts and then the movie crashes when the zombies come out.
Oh, okay. All right. Now I'm gonna have to go back and find these other guys in Hatchet 2 and stuff in Frozen because I didn't realize that they were in those movies. So now you have to go back and watch these movies.
Actually, Ed plays a character named Jason, which is named after me in Frozen.
Really?
Yes.
Very interesting.
It's all tied together. Everything's tied together.
Anyways.
And actually, one thing we didn't even mention, Ed was supposed to be on the episode tonight, but he got called off filming an episode of 911.
Yes. He got a last-minute call, which he wanted to do this really bad, too. He was texting me all day yesterday, and then he's like, oh, they just booked me. And then they were sending him wardrobe stuff, but he didn't even have a script yet, so he was freaking out.
Which show is 911?
It's on Fox.
Is that the one with what's his face?
I've not watched it.
Good old what's his face?
Yeah.
It's not the new one with no, it's not. I was thinking of the new one with Rob Lowe, but it's not it.
No. But they have these crazy rescues that they do.
I think
in the show.
Is it?
We know somebody that was in the first episode. It was that.
We're not going to end the show until we figure it out.
Yeah, I know. I believe. What was that holiday horror movie?
Holidays?
No, where we had the episode with everybody on.
All through the house.
All through the house. I believe it was.
Someone from that movie.
Yes. Yeah.
I believe it was good old one of those people.
I'm.
It wasn't Jessica Cameron.
Nope.
Noons? Ashley Noons?
Yes, Ashley.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Ashley that was in the first
now
episode.
that's been done, we should end the show.
Should.
Live on the internet, everyone.
Yeah, totally. I want to thank you all for watching this evening. Definitely check the show notes down below or up above, depending on where you're watching or listening to us. Head on out and watch Bloodhound, available on VOD and physical media right now. So, yeah, we urge you to check it out. And, Jason, where do you like people following you?
You can follow me on Twitter, Jason_R_Miller. It's the worst Twitter handle ever. Or on Instagram, Rockweiler, ROCKWILER.
Awesome. Tony?
You can find me on Tony Has Nine Fingers on YouTube, where I do movie reviews and unboxings and stuff. Tony Has Nine Fingers on Twitter. Tony's Movies, where I show off the movies behind me. And, of course, here on The Dorkening every Tuesday. Kev?
A-Knuckle on Twitter and Instagram. Every Sunday, Actually, no, not every Sunday, The Dorkening. Every Tuesday, Wicked Horror Show. Also doing reviews with Wolfie over on the audio side of Wicked Horror. Also part of Secret Underground Hideout and Black and White Fright. And that is about that, Leo Pond.
Yeah, Angel says he's going to go and check out the other stuff for sure. And Angel says, I've watched the Hatchet movies. Give him a big thumbs up. And yeah, Angel yells, Bloodhound. So yeah, definitely check out Bloodhound. And for The Dorkening, head on over to thedorkening.com to check out all the shows on the network, including Retro Redoctopus. I just added to the website over the weekend. We're up to 17 shows on the network now and growing. And yeah, a lot of awesome stuff. But more importantly, head out and watch Bloodhound. We'll catch you guys later. Bye.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.